The knocking in the night. The village was small, hidden deep in the folds of an ancient forest. Mist clung to the ground even in daylight, curling around trees like pale fingers that refused to release their grip. People here lived quietly, wary of the woods and its secrets. But there was one place they never approached, a crumbling wooden house at the edge of the settlement. They said it was cursed. Anyone who lingered near its rotting door would hear a soft, steady knock, 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 as though someone, or something, inside was waiting patiently to be let out. No one could remember who had lived there last. Generations had passed, but the house remained, sagging into the earth yet stubbornly standing, like a wound that refused to heal. Hui had just moved to the village to live with his grandmother. He was a curious young man, and unlike the elders, he laughed at the idea of ghosts and curses. Still, when he overheard the villagers whispering warnings about the abandoned house, his curiosity burned brighter. He wanted to prove it was nothing more than old wood creaking in the wind. On a moonless night, he set out with a flashlight in hand. The path was silent except for the crunch of leaves beneath his boots. As he drew closer, the air grew heavy, as though he were stepping into a different world. The house loomed ahead, its roof caved in, its windows dark like hollow eyes staring out. The door gave a groan when he pushed it, swinging inward with unnatural ease. Dust motes swirled in the beam of his flashlight. The smell of rot and damp wood pressed in around him. For a moment, there was only silence, thick, suffocating silence. Then came the sound. Knock, knock, knock. It was faint, deliberate, as steady as a heartbeat. Hui froze. The sound seemed to come from everywhere at once, echoing from the walls, the floor, the very air. His skin prickled, but he forced himself deeper inside. The light swept across claw marks etched into the wooden walls. Long, frantic gouges, as if someone had tried desperately to escape. He swallowed hard. Then his flashlight caught the old mirror in the corner. For an instant, it showed his reflection. But when he looked closer, he nearly dropped the light. In the glass, his face was missing its eyes. Two dark, hollow sockets stared back at him, thick black fluid dripping from them, splattering against the floor in slow, sticky drops. Drip, drip, drip. The rhythm matched the knocking. Hui stumbled back, breath ragged. Something cold touched his shoulder. He spun around, raising the flashlight, but nothing stood there, only the stale, wet air. The knocking grew louder, faster, overlapping until it sounded like dozens of invisible hands pounding against the walls. Panic surged. He sprinted toward the door and threw it open. But what waited outside was not the village. He stood in a cemetery. The mist was heavier here, crawling over crooked tombstones. Names carved in stone were too worn to read. At the far end, a figure stood motionless, draped in funeral white. In its hands was a small mourning drum. Each time it struck the drum with its bony fingers, the sound rippled outward, transforming into the same knocking he had heard in the house. "No," Hui whispered, backing away. His feet sank into the soft ground. The earth began to split, opening beneath him. From the pit below, pale hands surged upward, skeletal and cold, grasping his legs, pulling him down. He screamed, thrashing, but the figure at the end of the cemetery only kept drumming, its hollow face hidden beneath the veil. The knocking grew deafening, filling his head, beating in rhythm with his pulse. The last thing Hui saw before the earth swallowed him whole was the mirror from the house, standing among the graves, reflecting not his own image, but a corpse, eyeless and grinning. Then, silence. When dawn came, the villagers found the house's door open wide. No sign of Hui remained. But on the dust-coated mirror inside, a message had appeared in streaks of fresh, crimson letters, as if scrawled by unseen hands. "Do not enter when you hear the knocking." And so the house remained, watching, waiting, and knocking.
Thank you so much for watching the entire video. I wish you a day full of joy, good health, luck, and happiness. I look forward to seeing you again in my upcoming videos. Take care, stay positive, and all the best. Warmest regards and goodbye for now.